Ah, there you are, my dear friend. The day is drawing its last breath, and the sky has taken on those deep, aching colors I've always loved. Warm golds that slip into lavender, and then into a hush of blue that promises stars. You see it too, don't you? That wide, endless hush, where the sun kisses the earth. It never grows old. The river is quiet this evening, barely moving, just enough to catch the light and stretch it into silver ribbons. It's like the water itself has grown still to listen. I like to think it listens to us, or perhaps it only listens to the silence between our words, the same way old friends do when nothing more needs to be said. Do you feel the wind there at your cheek? It comes through the birches gently like an old lullaby forgotten by time. I always find peace in that sound, leaves brushing leaves like soft voices in the dark. It reminds me of childhood, though I remember little of mine now, just shapes, scents, the feeling of being small beneath something impossibly vast. The wolf is here with me as ever, curled like a question beside my boot, breathing slow, the rise and fall of her chest in time with the land itself. She hasn't moved in an hour or more, just listening, watching, guarding the moment. She's wiser than I am, truly. More present, more still. It's good to have you here. I mean that. This old glade has seen many sunsets with me, but it always feels more complete when shared. You don't even have to speak. Just your being here, it steadies me, as if the world makes more sense when you sit beside me, and we let the sky do the talking. Can you smell the air? That faint sweetness, the damp earth and the little blue flowers that only bloom at twilight. I never learned their name, but they come back every year like they remember where we were. That's a kind of love, I think. A flower remembering the shape of your footfall and choosing to return to it. The trees are tall here, and kind. I've leaned against this one. Yes, this same trunk, more times than I can count. Its bark is cool to the touch even now. And when I close my eyes, I imagine it remembering me too. Not as a knight, not as a man of any title, just as someone who sat and listened. The sky's begun to deepen now. Haven't you noticed that in between hour, when day doesn't quite let go and night hasn't quite begun, I think that's my favorite part of all. It feels like the world is holding its breath, waiting, hoping you'll stay just a little longer. You've no idea how many times I've watched that sun dip below the trees, and every time I wonder if it knows how gently it disappears, how quietly it says goodbye. It's not a farewell laced with sadness. No, it's more like a promise. I'll return. Rest well until then. That's the kind of ending I've always wished to give. Not a grand one, not a loud one, just a soft fading into rest. Like this, like now. The shadows are longer now. Look, see how they stretch across the grass, blue and cool, reaching toward the river's edge. I used to chase shadows when I was younger, always chasing, always moving. But I've learned the grace of staying still, of letting the world come to you. So here we are, you and I, and the wolf, and the river, and the sun, saying its last. No battles, no tales of glory tonight. Just this quiet hour, and the comfort of being known, even in silence. Let it be enough. Let the world slow down here just for a while. Rest your eyes if you'd like. I'll keep speaking softly. I'll hold the quiet for you. You're safe, my friend. You are home. It's a gentle evening, my friend. One of those rare ones where the air holds its breath in the hush before night. Can you feel it? The stillness is not empty. No, it is full, brimmed with softness steeped in memory. The land, as you see it now, has known many lives, and tonight it wears only peace. The grass beneath us is thick and low, golden in places where the sun still touches it, and cool in the shade where the trees lean near. I like how it folds gently beneath a hand, as if bowing in greeting. There are wild flowers scattered here and there, blue and white mostly, with the occasional bold red petal, daring to bloom where no other color does. They open just for dusk, I think. They know the hour better than any bell. Lean back with me. Let your fingers trail through the soft clover if you wish. The scent rises so subtly, sweet but not overly so, earthy, alive, and underneath it all that faint green sharpness, like crushed mint and morning dew. These little things, they're what anchor me here, not stone halls or armor polish. No, it's the smell of growing things that tells me I've come home. Now listen, do you hear that? The wind in the trees. It doesn't rush. It lingers, moving like silk across the leaves, stirring only what wishes to be stirred, and through it comes the rustle, branches brushing one another gently, as if in conversation. The language of old forests. I've learned to listen to it. There's something sacred in how the trees speak without speaking. Over there, just beyond that rise of mossy hill, the ruins of an old castle slouch into the green. You can see the highest arch from here if you squint. Or better yet, don't squint at all. Let your eyes blur, and it becomes just a memory of stone. That's what it is now, stone softened by time. Ivy has crept its way up every wall, and what once held banners now holds sparrow nests. I walked there once years ago, touched the stones. They were warm with sunlight and silence, and I swear I could feel echoes in them, laughter, boots, the clang of pots, the heartbeat of living long past. No battles ever reached this glade. Not in all my years. Perhaps it was the trees that protected it, or perhaps the land simply refused to echo violence. It has always been a place of pause, of breath between pages. I found it by accident and never once brought a map. The way back here is known only to my feet and my wolf's memory. She's lying there, see? Just along the curve of that tree root. Fur brushed golden by the last of the light. She likes it when the breeze moves across the river. Her ears flick once or twice, but she doesn't lift her head. Not unless she needs to. She knows there's no need tonight. Choose the river. Ah, that river. Look how it glows. It doesn't move fast. No, just a slow, meandering ribbon of light, catching every last flicker of sky and folding it gently into itself. It used to carry boats, so I'm told. Small ones, nothing grand. Fisher folk, traders, monks with oars and scrolls in hand. Now it carries only stories, the old kind, the ones you tell only to the breeze. I've spoken to the water myself once or twice, not expecting reply, of course, but there's comfort in speaking without the need for answers. As dusk thickens, you'll see the fireflies come, not all at once. One, then another and another still, until the field seems to breathe with stars. It's like the earth has its own sky, a mirror to the one above. I find that rather lovely, that even the ground wants to join in the dreaming. There's a scent in the air now, different from before, deeper. The earth cooling, drawing in the heat it held all day. It mingles with the slow breath of the forest. You'll catch a hint of pine if the breeze turns. And something floral, honeysuckle maybe, or night-blooming violet. I could never quite tell. It's like the forest keeps some secrets to itself, offering only whispers. Touch the ground with me, just here. Feel how it gives, how soft it is beneath our weight. That's the kind of softness that comes only from time, from rain and roots and seasons turning over like pages. I sometimes wonder how many feet have stood where we sit now, how many souls paused here as we do, and simply breathed. The bark of the tree behind us is rough, but kind. It won't press uncomfortably. You can lean your back to it. I often do. There's something grounding in that, being held upright not by strength, but by trust in something older than yourself. And above us the first stars are beginning to bloom. Just a few shyly appearing one by one. You might miss the first if you blink. But look long enough, and they'll gather, not in brilliance, but in patience. They never rush. That's the thing about stars, they're never late, only quiet. There's no sound of people here. No hammers, no hoofbeats, no call of names, only nature and memory. I think that's why I stay, not forever. No, but long enough to remember who I am beneath all the titles and armor. Just a man, resting in the shade of a tree, beside a river that no longer needs to hurry. Do you feel how the air settles now, like a shawl draped over the shoulders of the world? Everything draws inward, gentler. The forest prepares to sleep, but not before singing its last songs. The owl you heard earlier. She's awake now. I've seen her, white and silent, drifting between trunks like a ghost that never haunts. She's part of this place too. And the stones beneath us, some are smooth, others cracked, each one a little different. I like to trace them with my fingers. Sometimes they feel like old stories, buried and waiting. But tonight, they are just cool, quiet things, good companions in their own way. My cloak is brushing the grass, and the wolf's breath is steady. If you listen closely, you can match your breathing to hers. It helps. It always helps. I've done it many nights when sleep refused to come. It's a kind of lullaby. This world here, this patch of earth, is no grand kingdom, but it is rich, rich in stillness, in gentleness, in things that ask for nothing. And I find that such places, they give more than all the gold I ever saw piled behind castle doors. Let it hold you, this world. Let it settle into your bones like warmth. After a long walk, you are not a stranger here. The land knows you're quiet too. And I, dear friend, am glad you've come to share it with me. Let's stay here a while longer. Let the light leave slow. Let the world grow softer still. We needn't to say a word. Only listen. Only be. You know, it's a comfort having you here like this, not for ceremony or stories of grandeur, just for the quiet of sitting side by side, beneath this sky as the world exhales. I suppose I've not spoken much about myself. Not truly, not in the way one does when the armor's off and the wind is still. I find I prefer it this way. Gentle, without the need for names or lineages. Titles clang too loudly in the silence, and I've no desire to disturb the peace we've found here. I wasn't always so fond of stillness, though. There was a time long ago now when I filled my days with motion and my nights with hunger, not for food. No, for proving, for being seen. Glory used to matter to me. Not the shine of it, but the weight. I believed that if I gathered enough victories, bore enough scars, I might finally feel solid, real beneath the plate and steel. But the more noise I made in the world, the less I could hear myself. It took me years, truly, to learn how to stop. not to pause, not to rest between tasks, but to truly stop, to let the sword grow dull in its scabbard, to let the silence stretch long enough to show me what it held. And at first I feared it. The stillness, it felt like failure, as if in quiet there could be no worth. But silence is not absence. It's a presence all its own. It was in the hush between leaves, in the rhythm of a wolf's breath, in the wind moving like prayer across a still field, that I began to hear something softer in myself. A voice not driven by command or ambition, but by wonder, curiosity, grace. You see, my friend, we spend so long chasing what we think will fill us. We climb, we conquer, we collect, and yet what gentled me in the end was none of that. It was moss beneath a bare hand. It was moonlight on a tired cheek. It was learning that peace isn't something you win. It's something you allow. There's a kind of bravery in choosing to be still, to let the world pass without feeling left behind, to sit like this with someone dear and know that nothing needs fixing, nothing needs earning. We are enough, just as we are in this moment, in this light. The wolf beside me, she understands. She has no need to speak, yet says more with a glance than a speech ever could. She came to me in a quiet season of my life, not as a symbol or a prize, but as a companion. We do not command one another. We listen, we exist together, and in her company I've learned more about presence than I ever did in court or battlefield. Look at her now, there in the fading light. Her ears twitch with every subtle sound, every shifting branch, every whisper of breeze. She doesn't judge the silence. She drinks it in. That is her gift to me. The permission to be. I think I used to believe I needed to earn rest, that only after a day of duty and sweat could I sit and be still. But that was the old way, the loud way. Now, I've learned the truth. Rest is not the reward, it is the beginning. And so I have tried, slowly, kindly, to unlearn the noise, to let the muscles relax without demand, to walk not for destination but for communion, to lie back and feel the weight of the stars without needing to name each one. You, my friend, help with that. You do. When you sit with me, when you allow this moment to stretch unbroken by urgency, I feel accompanied, not in the way one is followed or watched, but truly met, like two streams flowing beside each other, no need to merge or compete, just present. I know little of what the world says about me now. I do not seek to know. Whatever stories remain are theirs to keep. But here tonight I do not speak from legend. I speak from my own skin, my own breath, my own heart, beaten and healed, worn but whole. If I am anything now, it is a witness to the sunset, to the quiet kindness of earth, to the miracle of simple presence. Sometimes I ask myself, what remains of me if all the armor is taken away? And I think I am the hand that brushes dust from a fallen petal. I am the voice that hums with no one listening. I am the man who learned that to be soft is not to be broken but to be open. And that is why I come here, to remember, to return, to be, if nothing else, fully here. So now you know. Not everything, of course, but enough, I hope, to feel the thread between us grow steady and real. You are welcome beside me. Always. Not because you've done anything, not because you are anything other than what you are, but because you are. That, my dear companion, is enough. Now let us sit, side by side with the wolf near and the stars above, and say nothing more for a while, Let the stillness speak for us. And if you find yourself drifting into rest, let it come. You are safe here. You are seen. You know, my friend, there is a certain kind of task one undertakes not for glory, not for duty, but for the quiet nourishment of the soul, a task so soft, so unassuming, that it asks nothing from the world, and yet offers everything in return. I took up such a task once, beneath this very sky, beside this very river. It began, as most gentle things do, in silence. On a morning much like this, cool and gold-edged, I came to this glade with a sapling in hand, a young oak barely as tall as my knee, with roots wrapped in damp cloth, and the scent of rain still clinging to its bark. I remember carrying it carefully, as one might carry a sleeping child. Step by slow step, I searched for the right place, not the highest point, nor the most fertile soil, but the spot that felt waiting. Just there, along the bend in the river, where the water hushes as it curls, and the sun finds the bank at an angle that makes the grass look almost spun from gold. That's where I planted it, my hands in the earth, warm and steady. I dug no deeper than needed. I disturbed no more than I must. And as I pressed the soil back into place, I whispered not a spell, not a prayer, but a promise, to return to witness, to remember. I've kept that promise, season by season. Every spring I visit to see its new leaves uncurl like waking fingers. In summer, I sit in its growing shade, watching how it sways, not against the wind but with it. And in autumn, oh how those little leaves blush, the deepest amber, as if proud to fall. Even in winter, when it stands bare and still, I come, because life, even in sleep, is still life. This morning, before the sun had fully climbed the sky, I tucked something into my satchel. A ribbon, just a bit of cloth. Really, nothing grand. A soft strip of pale blue linen, frayed at the edges, touched by many hands over many years. It's one of those things that carries memory the way a river carries reflection, not loudly, not boldly, but with quiet grace. I've brought it with me to tie around one of the oak's young branches, not for decoration, no, for meaning, for the simple act of saying, you are seen, you are cherished, you are growing, and I am growing with you. You might wonder why one would make a journey just for that. But when you live close to the earth, when your days are measured not in battles or duties, but in the rising and setting of light, even the smallest rituals begin to feel sacred. The path to the tree is familiar now, though it changes subtly with the seasons. Today the grass was dotted with tiny yellow flowers, low to the ground and wide-eyed toward the sky. They brushed my ankles as I walked, soft as breath. Along the way, I stopped to gather a few sprigs of wild thyme, growing near the stones, as it always does. The scent clung to my fingers, sharp, clean, and ancient. A little further along, beneath the shade of a leaning elm, I came across an old friend, a deer dozing in a hollow, young, with ears too large for her head, and spots still faint upon her coat. She didn't stir as I approached, just opened one eye, blinked slowly, and closed it again. I passed by her softly, laying a hand upon her flank, just once, as gently as one lays a hand on a page mid-thought. She was warm, breathing slow, entirely at peace. And in that moment I thought, is this not the truest kind of companionship, to be so trusted that even your nearness is restful? The trail led me past the old stones next, the ones scattered like forgotten chess pieces at the edge of the hill. No one remembers what they were once part of. A wall, a waymarker, a place of gathering. Time has taken the edges and the meanings both, but some still bear faint marks, symbols, initials worn deep from rain and reverent hands. I knelt beside one, tracing the carved curve of a letter now more moss than memory. It's strange how stone holds stories long after voices fade. I wonder if centuries from now, someone will touch the bark of my little oak and feel the echo of this moment. The quiet vow, the resting deer, the ribbon fluttering like a slow breath in the wind. And so I came at last to the tree. It's grown since the first time I knelt here, not by leaps, but with quiet persistence. The trunk has thickened. Its roots are more stubborn. Its branches reach a little farther into the blue. I stood before it a while, the ribbon in my hand, watching how the light played through its leaves. No trumpets, no fanfare, just the rustle of life. Then carefully, I tied the ribbon to a low branch, loose enough for the wind to dance with it. It caught the breeze almost at once, and the strip of blue stirred gently, as if waving hello to the river below. That was it. That was the whole of the quest. No dragons to slay, no riddles to solve, just a tree, a ribbon, and a moment shared with the earth. But as I stood there, I felt full, not in the way a feast fills the belly, but the way warmth fills a room, like something inside me had unclenched, like I had become a note in the song of the glade, held softly in harmony. So I lingered as I often do, ran my palm down the bark, whispered a few words to no one in particular, watched how the wolf laid down nearby, head resting on her paws, eyes half-lidded. She knew, she always knows. And now here I am, back with you, the task complete in its own quiet way. I tell you this not to impress, but to offer, to remind us both that not all journeys are made with marching feet or heavy hearts. Some begin with the simple act of caring, of choosing to tend something, whether tree or memory or soul, with patient hands. Perhaps you have your own ribbon tucked away somewhere, or perhaps one day you'll find a tree that feels like it's been waiting for you too. If you do, tie your vow, whisper your truth, and know that somewhere along the bend of a river in a world half-dreamt, a night once did the same. Now, shall we sit a while longer? The sun is still warm, the breeze still kind, and the ribbon still dances gently in the air. Let it dance for both of us. Let it be enough. Come closer, dear friend, and let us rest here a while longer by the river's gentle song. The water murmurs softly beneath the fading light, and it calls to the quiet corners of memory, those small moments tucked away like treasures kept safe from the noise of the world. I want to share with you some of these moments, not grand tales of conquest or valor, but gentle discoveries, the kind that seep slowly into the heart and hold us still with wonder. Sometimes when we are alone with the world, if only we slow our breathing and soften our gaze, the simplest things speak loudest. Do you hear that? The faint rhythm of rain on the roof of a distant temple deep in the forest. I remember sitting beneath that ancient wood, the stone cold beneath my knees, listening as the drops tapped a quiet song upon the roof. Each drop was a note, and together they played a lullaby that seemed older than time itself. The air was thick with moss, and the scent of old incense, soft and heavy, yet somehow light, like a whispered prayer. In those moments the world seemed to hold its breath with me, waiting. And then I recall a small, tender thing, a child's drawing, tucked beneath the leather of my saddle. It was given to me without words, just a simple parchment, scrawled with crude shapes. A sun, a tree, and a stick figure that might have been me. The colors were bright, careless, and filled with the earnestness only children know. That drawing traveled many leagues with me, a quiet reminder that even the smallest hands can leave lasting marks on a weary heart. There was once a shepherd, a humble man with a voice that hummed to the hills. I would pass him on my journeys, and sometimes his tune would drift toward me on the wind, a melody both sweet and sorrowful, as if the hills themselves sang of joy and longing. That melody held no words, only feeling, and it seeped into the stones and the grass, weaving itself into the fabric of the land. I remember watching a fox once, deep in the wood where the light barely touched the ground. She was teaching her kits, tiny bundles of fur with eyes full of wonder, how to leap and chase the dancing shadows. Their play was a dance as old as the forest, full of clumsy leaps and quiet patience. I sat still, careful not to disturb them, and in their joy I found a reflection of life itself, wild, delicate, and filled with endless possibility. And when the moon rose high, I once wandered among the ruins of an old chapel, where stone pillars reached toward the sky like frozen prayers. The moonlight spilled through the empty arches, casting silver lace upon the ground. Shadows danced slowly in the cool night air, and the silence was alive with stories untold. I walked those stones with reverence, feeling the weight of centuries settle softly around me. These are not tales of battle or kingship, dear friend, but quiet treasures stored in the chambers of memory. They remind me that even when the world seems vast and lonely, there are moments hidden small that offer comfort and wonder to those patient enough to see. If we remain still together, if you rest your head and breathe with me, I believe you will begin to hear these whispers too. The soft hum of life carried on the breeze, the light that lingers long after the sun has gone, the gentle pulse of the earth beneath us. The world is full of these gifts. They ask only that we be present, that we slow, that we notice. Let us sit here a while longer then, and listen for the quiet miracles that surround us. Together we will learn their language, and in it find peace. Come closer, my dear friend. Let us rest here beneath this widening dusk, where the last light slips slowly away, and the world softens into shadows. I wish to share with you thoughts that have dwelled deep within me, quiet musings that the night encourages, whispered not just from my lips but from the very heart of this place. There was a time when I believed that history would hold me, etched in stone or sung in halls. I dreamed of names carved into walls, tales woven with gold thread, a legacy shouted to the winds. But the years have shown me another truth, one far gentler and humbler, that to be remembered by the land itself, by the trees and rivers and stones beneath our feet, is a kind of eternity in its own right. Have you ever considered that? That history, the grand chronicles of kings and battles, can fade like morning mist, but the earth carries memory more deeply. The soil I sit upon has felt 1,000 footsteps, the grass has whispered under countless breaths, and the river's song has cradled more stories than any bard could tell. To be forgotten by the world's loud voice, yet held tenderly by the world's quiet pulse, perhaps that is a gift. Love, too, has taught me its softest lessons. There was a time I loved fiercely, loudly, even seeking in return the echo of my own heart. But love does not always answer as we hope. Sometimes it is a silent companion present without demand, a flame that burns gently rather than blazing. To love quietly, without expectation, without asking to be loved back, is a courage all its own. It is a choice to hold kindness as the greatest offering, even if it goes unseen. Pain, as well, has softened with the passing of seasons. It once felt sharp, a blade keen and unyielding, but time has the power to ease even the deepest wounds, to turn sharp edges into smooth stones polished by rain and river. And in that quiet transformation, meaning often finds its way, not in the moment of suffering, but long after, when the heart is ready to understand. I hold no bitterness now, only gratitude. Gratitude for the chances to feel deeply, to stumble and rise, to learn the grace of acceptance. I wonder, sometimes aloud, whether it is enough to have simply been kind, once, beneath this vast, forgiving sky. Is that not a worthy legacy? To have offered warmth when the world was cold, to have spoken truth in silence, to have rested beside a river, loved without demand, and let the stars witness your quiet journey. The wolf beside me sighs softly, a breath like the wind through autumn leaves, and I smile, feeling the dusk settle deep within my bones. The warmth of this moment, of this shared peace, wraps around us both. No grand deeds, no loud victories, only this gentle presence, steady and true. So, my friend, as the night embraces the land and the stars begin their slow dance above, let us carry this peace with us. Let kindness be our story, whispered softly in the hush of twilight. And let the land remember us, not in stone or song, but in the quiet heartbeats we leave behind. Rest now with me. You are safe, you are seen, and you are deeply loved. The stars are beginning to bloom now, my dear friend, little points of quiet light piercing the velvet cloak of night. They appear slowly, as if shy at first, then gathering confidence one by one, until the sky becomes a tapestry of shimmering stories. We are quite small beneath this vastness, are we not? Yet somehow, this very smallness carries its own kind of grace, a gentle reminder that to rest is to be part of something immeasurable and eternal. Feel the slow approach of sleep now. It moves softly like a whisper, brushing the edges of consciousness, inviting me to let go. My voice will grow quieter with each word, as if carried away on the night air itself. But before I drift, I want to share these final moments with you, these quiet breaths between wakefulness and dreams. The ribbon I tied to the young oak's branch flutters gently in the cool evening breeze. It dances with the leaves, as if greeting the stars themselves, a small promise made visible against the dark. That simple strip of cloth holds more than just color. It holds the years of tending, of hope, of memory, a quiet vow to life, to peace, to the soft unfolding of time. It is a symbol not of grand deeds, but of patient love. The river beside us continues its endless song, flowing without hurry or strain. Its voice is low, steady, like a lullaby sung to the earth itself. I listen to it, and in its cadence I find comfort, a reminder that all things move at their own pace, and that rushing is never required. The water's murmur is an ancient language, spoken without words, carrying the tales of countless dawns and dusks. I lean back now, resting against the cool bark of the tree, feeling the rough texture steady beneath me. The wolf lies close, her head nestled gently upon my lap. Her breathing is calm and sure, a steady rhythm that matches the pulse of the night. I trace my fingers softly through her fur, feeling the warmth beneath my touch, the quiet strength in her presence. She is my companion, my guardian, my silent witness. Breathing deepens. Each inhalation draws the scent of the earth, the moss, the damp leaves, the distant hint of pine. The air cools around us, wrapping us in a gentle embrace. All is still, except for the soft crackle of grass under unseen creatures' steps, and the distant call of a night bird, a solitary song that echoes through the darkness. It is a melody of peace, of solitude embraced. Thank you, dear friend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sitting beside me in this moment, for sharing the quiet, for listening to words spoken softly from a resting heart. Your presence makes this stillness real. It turns the silence into companionship and the dark into a shared sanctuary. There is a sacredness in such moments. The space between words, the pause in breathing, the gentle closing of eyes without fear. In this space we are more than knight and friend. We are souls resting beneath the same sky, bound by the simple act of being present. And so, as sleep draws me deeper, I offer you this. May you find rest as deep and gentle as the river's song. May your dreams be soft and kind, like the whisper of leaves in the wind. And may you always carry within you the quiet strength of this night, the knowing that you are safe, seen, and deeply held. Rest now, my dear companion. I will stay here a little longer, holding the moment, holding you, in the tender hush of the night. Good night. Before we part ways this night, dear friend, I want you to join me in one last moment, a quiet breath held beneath these endless stars. Look upward, if you will, and see how they shimmer softly, like distant lanterns hung across the vast sky, each one a gentle guardian watching over all who wander beneath their light. In this stillness, I offer you a final word, part memory, part blessing, from my heart to yours. Wherever you go, dear friend, I whisper, voice barely more than a breath. May the road rise slowly beneath your feet. May the winds be ever kind upon your face, and may the sky remember your name long after you have passed through. It is an old wish carried on the backs of countless travelers and whispered at countless doorways, a hope for safety, for grace, for the quiet unfolding of life's journey without haste or fear. Here the candle flickers beside us, its flame soft and warm, waltzing in rhythm with the sigh of the night air. It casts shadows that stretch and bow like silent dancers, marking the passing of this moment with a gentle glow. The light is humble but steadfast, much like the stories we carry deep inside ourselves. Near me the wolf breathes steady, her presence calm and sure, each rise and fall of her chest a steady heartbeat in the dark, a reminder that we are not alone, even in the quietest hours. And so, my dear companion, the story we have shared together tonight does not end with a bang or a flourish. It ends with a hush, a tender folding of words into silence, and the soft embrace of night wrapping around us both like a well-worn cloak. Thus now, beneath the watchful stars, let their quiet light cradle you as you drift toward dreams gentle and deep. Know that wherever you go, you carry with you this moment, this shared peace, and that you are held always within the heart of the night. Good night, dear friend.